In the news as of late, it's been a big point going on right now, especially with things like stop killing games and all that floating about, is of course the multiplayer game Highguard. I've been hearing about this already, and I of course saw Curse Farms post about it saying Highguard, a game with paid microtransactions, is being disabled. I'm glad I'm not collecting signatures for SKG anymore, since some people would equate game quality with whether you're entitled to consumer rights or not seeing the broader problem. A lot of people are, yeah, they're a little more, they get focused on certainly what the companies do, and so they do see it as deserving that they're getting shut down. I mean, I'm of the camp of, yeah, you know, no matter how shitty the game is or a company is, whatever, like the games should have some extended life to being shut down and all that, because there's some, and like it was the Concord situation, we saw people revive that through a form of like server emulation and everything. We've seen it with Star Wars, like with MMORPGs, even if with live MMORPGs. World of Warcraft has emulated servers, Star Wars Galaxies has emulated servers and stuff like that. Have old games that have been shut down have been resurrected in some ways. So I understand, and it could have, yeah, like stuff like this, the way people were looking at it, I don't blame them. But yeah, I could have seen where that would have affected maybe some signatures if they weren't already, like he says, looking at not seeing the broader problem. And some people were making this point, but I think this one in particular is saying, I'm so sick of people being glad when a game becomes unplayable. The mentality of I don't want to play it, therefore no one should be. That's not the mentality necessarily. It's more of people wanting to see these companies be punished for their bad tactics and bad business sense and stuff like that. They're, you know, bad PR, whatever you want to call it. That's more of the reason why people want punishment for these companies, not for, and it's not necessarily at the game itself, it's at the companies. It's just, unfortunately though, the game is the vehicle for a lot of their bullshit, because of whatever, you know, subversive propagandist messaging that they're force feeding into it. But I mean, from what I understood with Highguard, I never played it myself, but it just had a lot of clunky gameplay mechanics, big worlds, big multiplayer maps, but very few players on those maps, so it made it feel empty. So it sounds like, you know, design choices were not all there, and it sounds like it was their own damn fault to begin with. But we'll take a look too, because I did get another article, but it seems like this Vice article that Ross here linked had a little more in there. So as of March 3rd, yesterday, Highguard is shutting down just 45 days after launch. So it'll go offline March 12th, ending the game in just 45 days after its controversial January launch. It's hard to imagine, but it's only been 36 days since Highguard's controversial launch on January 26, 2026. While the game initially was off to a decent start, reaching 97,000 peak players on Steam, the 3v3 multiplayer quickly saw its players' numbers plummet amid online backlash. Let's see what. Let me just kind of open this up really quick just to see what they bring up as the backlash. Facing backlash from players, only been 48 hours. Player count has plummeted. Why has the free-to-play multiplayer generated so much hate? Let's see. Player count has dropped significantly on Steam as the title continues to be the butt of many online jokes and criticisms. If you aren't chronically online, you may be wondering why Highguard is getting so much backlash. It's not as bad as Sony PlayStation's failed Concord, yet it seems to be generating a similar reaction from gaming audiences. Like I said, I'm pretty sure like this whole 3v3 mode and the fact that the maps were as big as they were. So here are the main reasons players are not liking Highguard. It was disappointing final game reveal. That's right, because old Dorito Pope himself had promoted the game, and some people were citing that as part of the backlash. Gear up phase is boring according to players. Character designs are bland. Missing game chat and party features at launch. It tries to be too many games. That is sometimes a problem, is when they're trying to fit in too many mechanics. An expensive in-game currency. By far the biggest driving the Highguard hate is the Game Awards reveal. Despite the controversial moment happening in 2025 of December, many players have seemingly still not forgotten about it. Oh, Jeff Keighley, old Dorito Pope. Just stick to sucking off Kojima. We know that's what you do best. Accuse the studio of paying for the spot, because you have to pay like $1 million or something for these spots. Or was that the Super Bowl? No, I'm pretty sure it was even like the Game Awards. That was like the big word around it, was that was the whole thing. In 48 hours, I'll be accepting your apologies. However, Highguard's divisive launch. Jeff Keighley then acknowledged that many players weren't happy with the game by posting the share your controversial opinion tangled meme. It feels like a because like they also have like you can ride around on mounts and stuff like that. Like they have a lot going on it. So that's part of that. Old Dorito Pope shot himself in the foot, or shot them in the foot. Let's see. Despite numerous patches trying to save it, the game's developer has revealed is taking the shooter offline. I know James from Melee Games had been playing it and was certainly I don't know if he's doing it sarcastically or not, but like he was promoting it, and like the game, he saw it where the game could have the potential to turn around after updates and stuff like that, but it seems like they are not going to be lasting in that. In a post on X, Wildlight Entertainment announced that Highguard is permanently shutting down in March. In a somber update, the team explained, "Today we're sharing a difficult news. We have made the decision to permanently shut down Highguard on March 12th. Despite the passion and hard work of our team, we have not been able to build a sustainable player base to support the game long term." Interestingly, Wildlight Entertainment also revealed they are releasing one final patch for the game before shutting it down. The team is excited to release one final game update to enjoy in the remaining life of the game. We'll be adding a new warden, a new weapon, account level progression, and skill trees. Why? When you're like, I don't know if this is like some sort of like Hail Mary sort of thing they're trying to think that will possibly generate a resurgence in a player base, that maybe if that shows that then they can keep the game online instead of it dying. I don't know. But yeah, less than 2 weeks left to enjoy the game with new content. Let's see. As mentioned above, the final day to play Highguard is Thursday, March 12th, with the new patch coming. That gives dedicated players around 9 days left to enjoy the 3v3 shooter before it goes offline permanently. To keep track of the last day you can play Highguard, here is the table showing when it'll shut down in each region. The times are an estimate, as Wildlight has only given us a date. Excuse me. So yeah, here, this is what Vice had that was more detailed, I would say, than what I saw in Game Rants, was having all these time zones listed and stuff like that. But like they said, it's an estimate, it's not guaranteed, but this is what it's all looking at. For North America, 12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Eastern Time, 3 a.m. Canada ET, 3 a.m. United Kingdom, 8 a.m. Europe, 9 a.m. Japan, 5 p.m. Brazil, 5 a.m. Australia, 7 p.m. and New Zealand, 9 p.m. But again, those are estimates, not guaranteed. Players react to the sudden shutdown. As you can imagine, the reaction from Highguard players over the game's shutdown was a mix of sadness and frustration. Many users were confused as to why a final patch was being released for the title when it's only going to remain live for a week. Other players were disappointed that the multiplayer was closing down so shortly after its launch. Genuinely wonder what even is the point of launching a live service new IP if you're just going to shut it down before even trying to update it. A user on X commented, for example, another player reacted, "So sad, I had been playing all week with the boys. Man, we crushing it on 5v5. So they did expand the player matches, but I think I saw people saying it should have been like 6 versus 6 or a little bit more than that, just to get use out of the larger maps. Other users were critical of the negative backlash surrounding the game and blamed hate mobs for ruining it. Honestly, after this, I'm good off video games. These people made a great game. I guess you get more views if you say it's trash, like everyone. What has video gaming come to? A frustrated Highguard fan wrote. Highguard has faced an uphill battle since its controversial reveal at the Game Awards 2025. Many viewers were upset when 3v3 multiplayer was the award show's final reveal. Although not the fault of Wildlight Entertainment, the game has since been dogged by online backlash. In February, Wildlight was hit with mass layoffs following Highguard's poor performance on PC and console. Regardless of how you feel about the game, this is an unfortunate outcome for any new studio. Highguard will go offline starting March 12th, so if you enjoy the multiplayer, now is your time to play it. That's kind of a curious thing then, just to see what is going on with it right now. So you got 291 in game as of now, and is that, let's see, let's go with the month. I mean, they said a hit, so let's go with the max. Yeah, they had that 97,000 launch, and then it just dropped like a stone shortly after that. And unfortunately, yeah, when it comes to multiplayer games, you need that large player base to sustain it. And I mean, the only time and especially to be consistent, the only time you see big dips when for games is when it's more single player games, but that's usually to be about expected. Multiplayer is meant to keep you returning. Yeah, I like it. I never dived into it myself. And like it is, I think to me award shows are fucking pointless. Excuse my language, but they're pointless in my opinion. They shouldn't, especially when you've got people that will say things like, well, art is subjective, okay, eye of the beholder and all that. Then I personally think that it's all just a waste of freaking time. And yeah, when you get a special nod from Jeff Keighley, yeah, that will taint the pool just that bit, especially for people that are already disgruntled with the industry as it is, and disgruntled with, just everything that's going on. I think I'd watched a little bit of the awards show just to see what was being announced, but I think I just stopped watching after a point. Like, again, I think it's all useless. It's all a bunch of self-wankery. And sorry, but if you, I think if anything, you don't want the endorsement from Dorito Pope. You don't want, in my opinion, to be interacting with these award shows. I personally wouldn't, but that's a me thing, because again, I everybody's like game of the year sort of thing especially is gonna be all tied to you personally anyways. I don't think there should be anything of an industry-wide oh, this is the game of the year, but judged by who? A bunch of corporate clowns at this point? No, piss off with that stuff. So anyways, back to the Highguard. It's unfortunate when you got a game shutting down one way or another, especially if there are people that are trying to play and enjoy it. It sucks. You can try and blame the outrage crowds and stuff like that, but when the players aren't showing up regardless, I mean, if the game is good, the people will show. But if your game is riddled with problems, especially from the get, unless you can really do something to somehow win back through whatever, like a No Man's Sky, which don't even get me, I was going somewhere. Oh, like you're earning back, good credibility, but like it is, once your player base drops off so strongly like it did on Steam here, yeah, they people just weren't going to be showing. It's unfortunate. And on it, I mean, I just couldn't help but kind of check to see what the reviews, but even I'll sometimes say like the Steam reviews are usually freaking worthless. But yeah, like it's an unfortunate thing. Sorry to see any game kick the bucket, but It is what it is. I mean, it was free, and that's the thing. It's free to play, but if they aren't gonna grab those whales, it's gonna be dead in the water. So it's unfortunate, but there it is. R.I.P. Highguard. Okay.
Thank you for watching this clip from Respawn Roast Cantina. Please like and subscribe if you like what you see, and check out the full episode.